That shouldn't be a sentence. I was like, My bangs look a little greasy. We don't need to talk about it. I'm getting it done in like a few days. We don't gotta talk about it too much. Hello everyone. If you hear panting, there's a dog right here. Different dog. They were roughhousing, so therefore she's now just over here being like, welcome to or back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. My name is Christina. Please don't hate me. I'm gonna be talking about the books that I DNF'd and why. Please
don't come for me.
Because I have some opinions.
And they're not nice.
I wrote everything down. This is not all of them because I could not figure out every single one that I DNF'd. Some it was just like, it's been so long. I started to tag things that I DNF'd. So this is more recent things that I DNF'd. I have highlights from my Kindle and I have notes that I'm going to be going over for each book. And I have about 8 that I'm going to be talking about today. So without further ado, let's get on into it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Maybe. We'll see. Also, if you love these books, please exit the chat. Exit the chat. I stopped reading these books for a reason because I didn't like them. This is nothing against you. This is just me and the book. We didn't mesh. Our morals clashed. There's just something that we didn't vibe. We didn't go together. I will list the books down below that I'm talking about, and if you do not want to hear anything, if you don't want to hear any slander about your favorite book, exit the chat. Please and thank you. Without further ado, let's get on into it. Okay. The first book I will be talking about is By a Thread by Lucy Score. I've tried way too many times to read Lucy Score books. I have given this author so many chances and just not for me. The men that she creates are very immature and I think they shouldn't be romanticized, and I honestly wish them the worst. Like, all of the female characters that she writes about, they're gems, but the men, they're 40 but like going on 20. Does that make sense? Especially with this book specifically, there is a trope that I realize that I don't like, and it's boss and employee, because there is like a conflict of interest obviously, but also this man is just mean.
He's just so mean to her.
And it's not like an endearing, like, you know, enemies to lovers. It's like, he's mean and I didn't like him. And the things that were said were said. I think I made a lot of these public. Honestly, she said, I was an alley sandwich with very handsome bread. Out of context, that makes no sense to me now. He literally at 32%, he's like,
I showed her my cards, admitted my sins, confessed my fears.
no, he didn't, first of all. So something happened, I can't even remember what it was. But none of that stopped me from seeking her out. I think it was, he was listing all of the reasons why like he shouldn't go for her, and therefore, but he was like, but, and I literally wrote, I was like, this man has the willpower of an acorn.
Acorn!
I can't, I think I've tried to say this before and I've deleted it because I was like, I can't say that. And it says, but then he says, but I'd find myself locking the door of my private bathroom
at his work,
and while fantasizing about her on her knees in front of me, her on my desk with legs spread, demanding that I her with my tongue. I was like, no. She said I wanted to see him naked, spread out before me like a buffet. I said, ew. I hate this visual. In the same sentence, she was like, I also never want to see him again. I was like, you're so funny. The song was slow, dirty, tortured. I liked it. It reminded me of me. No, that's what this was. It was just cringy. It was cringy to the max. I was like, stop saying what you're saying. This right here. Shakespeare would be rolling around in his grave. I'd buy her 1,000. I'd buy her 1,000 thongs if she were mine. That's too funny to me. And then he goes, I drown her in lingerie and dresses and diamonds and fucking yoga pants. Anything she'd want.
I'd give it to her.
I will not inappropriately touch my boss tonight.
And I literally was like, that should not be a sentence. That shouldn't be a sentence. This is when I knew the trope was not for me. I knew right away. I was like, this is cringy and I hate this, but let's see if we can push it forward. I just wanted to finish it. I was in my era of like, I just want to finish a book. Ugh. Someone's comment had me dying, cackling on the floor. Oh my god. Stop. Someone, it's just the fact that this is a line. Loudly, exuberantly pouring what felt like an entire fucking protein shake directly down my throat. Oh my god, I was drowning, and he just... That's what I do. I found this comment and I was like, oh my god, I need to go find that in the book. And it's so bad. It's so bad, but it's so funny. Okay, we're done here. Now I have Haunting Adeline. This book is a no. No for me. Again, if you love it, I love that for you. For you. This book, I was explaining this to my friend. Oh, because I was heated. Because I was like, you know what, like, so many people love this book. But I mean, he's a stalker. And, you know, he sexually assaults her, you know, and he just does all this really bad stuff that's, like, pretty triggering. And now that I'm saying that out loud, I should have known. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was like, wow, this is bothering me. Putting these two things together of being like, he's a stalker, but also he saves people from getting sex trafficked. I was like, okay, we're not gonna put these two things together because both of these are a problem. This is how I interpreted it, was putting something that was bad and then trying to be like, well, he's not that bad. Hello? Oh my god! That stink. He's a bad guy, but he does this, so must not be that much of a bad guy after all. And it was just not for me. I realized I really tried. I got 50% of the way through. Let's see what I highlighted. Because I was co-reading this with my friend. Some of these books I read just for the sake of being like, why do so many people like this book? Like, it seems either taboo or it seems like, you know, this is not great. But so many people were talking about. Like, I have coworkers who have read this book and love this book. But also, like, being stalked is one of my biggest fears. So... now it is. Hi, pretty girl. Page 44. She's like, I'm scared, but I'm also stupid, so I'm not leaving. This is when she realized, like, oh, hey, there's, like, someone outside. Or, like, she's finally met this man. And then I literally I was like, at least she's self-aware. And then she goes, but I refuse to run. I can't explain it, but it feels like I'm letting them win. And then I go, a tad concerning. Though it's a big fat fucking lie, I'm absolutely terrified. And as already established, stupid too, but I can't find it in me to care right now. Okay, no, because I gotta say this. On page 62, no, because I need a moment for this line, because I thought it was funny. You want this bone? How about we don't play with this at all? I don't. Just out of context, the time this was so funny to me. I should have had night vision goggles like me. It was Zayd talking about this girl. It's like, should have had night vision goggles like me. And I was like, I don't know why this line is just so funny to me right now. A beautiful girl stalked by an unhinged man, and no one bothered to help her until it was too late. I didn't comment anything. I don't even know what that was about. Page 103, she'll fear me at first, but the fear will only ignite her, and I will be all too fucking happy to deliver the pain when she gets too close to the flame. A poet. And I literally put, page 171. This is wrong. So wrong. I shouldn't be attracted to a stalker. And I was like, I mean, yeah. Maybe. And page 281. I love it when she runs. But like, why? I feel like I should have highlighted more. If I knew I was going to do this, which now I know, if I see something that's absolutely cringy, I'm just gonna
highlight it to death.
Okay, we're gonna briefly talk about this because I get quite unhinged talking about this book. For the fans, I don't like this trope. It's not a trope that I go for, nor do I feel very comfortable with. And I knew that going into this, so please don't come for me. I was very aware about what this trope was and what kind of book this was, but when I tell you everyone and their mother, their great grandmother, and also their like dead ancestors were coming back from the grave and just talking about how much they loved this book and how much like the romance in this book was absolutely to die for. So many 5 stars, and so therefore I was like,
Why?
it's a no. if you're not aware of what this book is about, there are two people, they really dislike each other, and they're total enemies, total opposites, and they become stepbrothers. And they're both going to the same school, and they just didn't want to be a part of each other's lives. And then they both end up being in a financial crunch with their family, and so therefore they start doing OnlyFans. One of his friends got them to be a part of an OnlyFans project, and then therefore they got a very positive response. So they kept doing it, and it was like, okay, we're just doing it for the fans. This trope is not for me. That's the reason why I DNF'd it. I wanted to understand why people liked it, and therefore I kept going and going, and I was reading it with the same person who I was reading Haunting Adeline with, and she was fed up with me. She was fed up with me by this point, because she's like, you're getting me to read
bad books.
Nothing's funny about this. Ooh. Oh, this is AV. He's like, that's right, number 9. My body's banging too. I don't know. Why did I highlight this? I highlighted, there's kale. There's kale salad in the mini fridge. Of course I would highlight that. For what reason? It says, I feel like a reluctant sex worker who just accepted my first wad of dirty, shameful cash. It's funny, because it's someone commenting. And the person's name is not a stalker. I'd let you fold me like a cheap chair. And that's all I have. I DNF'd it because I don't like the trope, but some of the lines were funny, some of them were not. I don't know why I highlighted some of them. But this is a very spicy book. Also, it's an extremely long book. Extremely long book, and it's so spicy. And honestly, just I was like maybe halfway through, and we realized it. Both of us were just like, what are we doing right now?
This is weird.
And that's obviously just our personal feelings about it. Oh, then the second book in the Dirty Air series. Oh my god, I've been talking for 32 minutes. That's funny. Okay, Collided. It's the one with the blonde one. Blue cover.
I hated this.
I don't think there's another man I'd like to sock in the face more than this man in this. I said not to mention it's a huge downgrade from the first book. Throttled, the first book I loved. I think the books just went downhill from there for me personally, and then this one I tried so hard to read this book, and I swear my brain felt like it was melting, which is that a bit drastic? Maybe. But also, that's exactly how I felt. Okay, let's see what I highlighted for this. Oh, wait. I'm going to DNF this one because, oh my lord, was this painful to get through. Liam is so annoying and obnoxious. One of the worst love interests I've ever seen. He's 30, yet he talks and acts like he's 17. He's an immature adult that needs to grow up and move on. He was also putting his problems on other people. It wasn't being addressed that these were his internal problems. I don't like when men or just people in general which is hypocritical to say, I'm still working on this. Went to therapy for this. This is why it really bothers me, is that putting your problems on other people, you're being like emotionally immature, and you're like taking it out on somebody else, or you're blaming someone else, and this is what he was doing. It was already just like irritating my soul. So this is something that bothered me was Sophie, which is the love interest. Their romance was cuter in the first book than it was in this book, and honestly the characters were very different in this book. It felt like they weren't the same people, and it was like kind of in the same timeline, I believe. Sophie was so much more interesting and so much more fun in the first book, whereas like I feel like her character just morphed into someone completely different, and someone who is a lot more obnoxious. I chose different themes for each person because I'm not a basic bitch. I've never been wired that way. Ever since my dad bought me a Star Wars backpack instead of a princess one because no daughter of his believes in fairy tales. That's right. She was one of those girls that was like, I'm not like other girls. As if like there's anything wrong. I would want a princess backpack, and there's nothing wrong with that. Oh my god. He said, this is 4%. Says, you're no princess, you're a motherfucking queen. Don't let anyone forget it, not even yourself. People think the king matters, but the queen brings down all the other pieces. Good luck in uni and chug a beer in my honor. Who would say that? No. No one's out here saying that. Are they? Do people say this? Because I'm starting to realize these things that men say, they're so not, or at least none of the men that I know, they wouldn't say this. And it was really cringy. I don't know if this is in context or out of context, but they said desperation smells an awful like Chanel No. 5. Oh my god. Someone, his dad, I think, like, quote unquote roasted him, like he said something, and then he goes, shit, someone call a doctor because my dad gave me a 3rd-degree burn. I was like, ew. That's all for that book. Now, I read this physically, so I don't have any notes for it, but Serpent and Dove, I've talked about it before. Serpent and Dove, I'm sure you know this book if you're into YA, or if you're into fantasy, or if you've honestly just been to Target. This, I believe, is a very popular series, and she's a witch, he's a witch hunter. I hated this book. I hated this book. I tried with all my might. I pushed through, which I'm learning, I'm really trying not to do. I literally DNF'd a book today because I tried to push through so bad.
And it didn't work.
This one, it was all the writing. The writing in this book was atrocious to me. I cannot remember why, but I remember just thinking, oh my god, these characters not only bother me, there was like one funny line every now and then, and so therefore I was like, okay, maybe we'll just keep going. Maybe this is where it gets good, and then it just never got good. So I would not recommend that series. Of course, do whatever you want. The world is your oyster. And also the main character, the male character, I think it was just the way that he talked, where I was like, make up your mind. Are you from 1890 or are you from 2010? Because you're giving both and they don't work. Then we have the quarterback sneak. That one. I'm gonna talk briefly because I don't even really want to talk about it. And
I've been talking for a really long time.
The Quarterback Sneak is the 3rd book in the Red Zone series. I'd recommend one. I haven't read one, but the romances, it's because I read 4 first. I read 4, then 2, and then I was like, well, I've literally known this couple of number 1 for the entire time. So I was like, let me see number 3, because they weren't in 4. Because he had graduated, so I was like, okay, let's see. And it was atrocious. Ugh. It was the way that he talked about her that really bothered me. And I think this is one of the books that really made me realize that some male POVs drive me up the wall.
Bonkers.
I just can't take it sometimes. They really just say the most sexual, vulgar things, and it's like, you just gotta sit there and read it and be like, oh. But it's like, can you think about anything else? That's what bothered me, is because it was always something sexual, and in my mind I was thinking, can you say anything else? Because she's over here not talking about him like that, but he's over here talking like that. So therefore me right here, I didn't like that. Also, it was boring, very boring. The other 2 books, the romance, impeccable. I would definitely recommend the other ones, because I know number 1 has got to be good, because their relationship in the 2nd book and the 4th book, so sweet. But the other 2 that I have read, the chemistry is off the walls, insane. I love them. Please, if you're going to read them, just don't read the 3rd one, or do. Do what you want. Okay, I do want to mention, I did, if you're new to my channel, I did DNF Iron Flame. I thought it was like really poorly written. It seemed like they were trying to take away, like not focus so much on the romance and focus more on the bigger picture. I felt not only like confused but lost in my mind, like I couldn't clearly picture things. Maybe the audiobook is better. It's on my library. It's on Libby. So maybe let me know, comment down below if you've read the 2nd book or if you've listened to it, that whether it's like gets better or your thoughts and opinions, because I know it's a very highly hyped book. Then we have Flawless, which is the book I DNF'd today. you know, not too long ago, everyone and their mother was talking about this Chestnut Spring series, and therefore I was like, you know what, these, I'm gonna be so honest. The covers were already very off-putting to me because I went to a school, this is nothing against anybody, but everyone and their mother, I live in Arizona, and I went to school in Arizona, so everyone and their mother took pictures out in the desert. Every single cover looked like the pictures that people would take in high school of like their couple photos or engagement photos, or just like out posing. The covers were the main reason why I was like, we're not reading this book. What, everyone and their mama was reading it. And so I was like, you know what? I read one cowboy romance. Let's see what's up, because maybe this is one of those books that's really good. Maybe I'll really like it. So I go, I start reading, and then as soon as Rhett opens his mouth, I was like, ooh, I don't think I'm gonna like this. He's kind of getting on my nerves. It felt like there was no romance, but there was all of this like forced sexual tension between them, and that's all it was, but there was like nothing else. Like, I didn't believe that they were friends. I didn't believe that they were enemies. I didn't believe a thing. Basically, it felt very surface level. So, I didn't like it. I do have highlights.
This cover bothers me.
I couldn't unpicture him. There were some cute moments in it, though. I'm not gonna completely knock it. We could agree to disagree. That's right. He hit someone, and he got, like, his sponsors revoked because he doesn't like milk. Yeah. Oh my god, it's another one of these comments. My hair is long, just how I like it. Wild and unruly, just like me. Says milk, taken down by fucking milk. Also, not only to mention, her best friend, the only conversation these two have, and there's like a text conversation at the beginning of every single chapter, and between her and her best friend, it always starts off with, did you bang the cowboy? And then she's like, no. And it's like, well, you should. And I was just like, can we talk about something else? Although she did say you definitely look like cougar bait, and I thought that was very funny. His ass looked like an apple that I'd trade a limb to bite. No! The only thing you should, this is out of context. Out of context and in context, I thought this was funny. It says the only thing you should be sorry for is not telling me you were in an ice cube. I don't know why, but I mentioned it. So, and then he was like watching her sleep like no, this is actually like the line. He's watching her like a lovesick Ted Bundy or something. And I was like, hey, let's not romanticize serial killers. Thanks. There's so many other people we could be talking about. It's not serial killer behavior. That's all for that one. And then the last one I'm gonna be talking about, I don't know what number we're at. No idea. It's going to be, actually, you know what? This one pains me. I forget. That's a lie. Ruthless Vows. I tried. I'm so sorry. I love the first book so much. Like, I recommend that book to everyone. But I don't know what it was. But I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into it. And it was not as interesting as the first book. And I was so excited because I missed them so much. I was waiting for this book to come out. I immediately, like, the day after it came out, because I forgot that it came out on the 26th. And I bought it the next day and I started reading it and I just couldn't finish it. It wasn't like I was in a slump. I guess it was starting to put me in a slump. And I just didn't understand why. I felt like it was honestly really disappointing because I thought it was gonna be more intense than it was, and also just not what I expected. And considering, in my mind, this is also me considering that this is like the last book, so it's like it's a duology, and me thinking, oh my god, wait, how are we going to wrap this up? What's going to happen? Because honestly, it's giving nothing right now, and I'm so sorry. I have the audiobook, I have the Kindle. Please comment down below if I should finish it and if it gets better, or if I should just restart it and just start over, because I think I might just have to restart over, do it again when I'm not like in a slump era, because I really want to love it. I wanted to. Okay, that's all. Please don't hate me. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you found some of the comments as entertaining as I did. And please let me know down below your thoughts and opinions. But please be nice. Or comment down below books that you've DNF'd. Comment down below books, even like popular books that you're like, you know what? I couldn't hang. Couldn't get down. So with that, I bid you adieu. I hope you have a great day or night, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video.